Repco, we get what gets you going. Because while you told her it would be loud, you forgot to mention how it feels. Repco gets you going.
Wait, is this an ad for Toyota? Look, Toyotas, all of them. You got a Farmer and a Hilux, a Hi-Ace, Highlander, RAV4, GR86, and even a hydrogen car. You got the All Blacks and Blackferns in a Prado.
Toyota.
A happy family in an electric vehicle. And a happy Dame Lisa Carrington carrying a kayak. So now do you think it's a Toyota ad?
Nah, it's just New Zealand.
What's with the music thing?
What kind of memories does Manfeild evoke from you? Some good ones, I think.
Yeah, as I was saying before, we got plenty of good memories here. Won my first New Zealand Championship in the Manchester Racing Series. It's an eventful weekend, considering we put it in the fence on the Friday morning, and that sort of put us out for all Friday and qualifying for Saturday morning. But managed to get the car repaired and get stuck into the weekend. There were a few issues with the car due to the crash, but able to pull through, so pretty thankful.
You've had a couple of weeks off between rounds of this championship. What's the thoughts that you've had in between time, knowing that we're at the business end now, Chris? We're in the, only a couple of rounds to go.
Yeah, no, I've just sort of been trying to focus on myself, not trying to overthink it too much, because we've got a good little wee buffer in the championship, so I don't want to come into the weekend putting too much pressure on myself, because last 3 weekends we've done have been phenomenal, getting all those podiums and top 3 results. So if we can stay in there this weekend, we'll keep pushing forward. So just in the break, it's just been a lot of sim work, studying all my data from the previous rounds and footage, and just general training.
Have you been, conscious of making a choice when the weekends maybe haven't quite been, 100% from a car perspective, even if you're just slightly beneath that? Have you been conscious of just bank the points? Has that been a choice you've made?
Yeah, I think that was a big one for Highlands. Like, we came out of Hampton Downs and Teretonga for round 2 and 3, won both weekends, and we're in a really strong spot. Went down to Highlands and didn't quite have the overall package, but I just thought, it's a weekend like this is the best time to bank those valuable points, getting 2/3 and a 5th. We're only 2 points off the round 1 at the end of the weekend, so it's all we're just trying to work towards is that consistency.
You've got some unbelievable talent in this team, but the entire paddock, from an 86 perspective, there are some really strong outfits here, aren't there?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like, you look at today's times, there's only about 4 or 5 tenths between that top 10 cars, and even like top 6 is within a couple tenths. So when we go to qualifying tomorrow morning, it's going to be pretty close, and every driver, got to give huge credit to them all, done awesome job this season with all them and their teams, all getting, most of them have had podiums and awesome results, and everyone's in a good shot for an awesome spot in their championships as well.
Finally, do you look at some of those that are relatively close to you on the leaderboard and think about what they might be like coming into these last couple of rounds, or has that not even entered your mind?
It has a little bit. Always got to think about who you're racing, because if I'm in a spot for 4th or 5th and I'm racing someone who's a bit further back in the championship, I'm not going to throw away a good result trying to get past them and end up getting damage of some sort. So just look at who I'm racing. I know the points that everyone's got and how many points you get for every position, so I'm just working that out in my head during the races so I can just figure out where I need to get to finish where I want.
He seems to be taking an approach that is beyond his years, as Greg Murphy reflected in the Repco Next Gen NZ Championship podcast not all that long ago. That's his teammate, Mac Templeton. Cars are set to roll for Bridgestone GR86, their first race of the weekend, and I'm joined again by Ronan Murphy for commentary in this one. When we saw qualifying before we came on air today for the feature race tomorrow, ripper job by the youngest driver in this field in AJ Giddy, just showing again the kind of talent that he's got to grab the pole for the feature. Very, very good lap, and he's another in the mix of those to look out for that we'll be keeping a close eye on, won't we?
Absolutely, Rusty, and credit to AJ Giddy. What a lap he put on. He put out this morning and to take the pole position, and it's actually a McKenzie Motorsport front row, because his teammate Arthur Braun, who is also just as rapid, was qualified in 2nd place. So the front row is a complete McKenzie Motorsport lockout.
Yep. So just for a reminder too that the way the qualifying formula works for this class, it rewards consistency. So the fastest time in that qualifying session, which you can find online, the results of, and on our Toyota GAZOO Racing New Zealand social platforms and so on, is for the feature race tomorrow. But if you can replicate a really strong 2nd fastest lap in that session, that is what counts for the grid for this first race. So why don't we bring you that now with the beautiful backdrop there at Manfeild, and it is Arthur Braun who was the fastest man on Friday, fastest lap time in the 222. He's found a bit of a resurgence in form of late. Hugo Allen, reigning champion, will start alongside him. Chris White, who we heard from there a moment ago. Josh Bethune, he's been another who's been regularly at the pointy end in this championship. Justin Allen, he knows Manfeild like the back of his hand. A nice improvement from Lee Zeltwanger as well, 6th.
Yeah, certainly was. And then AJ Giddy, our pole winner, he's there in 7th. Mac Templeton there in 8th, who we were just discussing. Harry Townsend there in 9th. Zach Blinko in 10th. And then a little bit further back, Cameron Hill, who we know has had some struggles this season, there in 13th. And our Tony Quinn Foundation and Wolfbrook Motorsport scholarship winner there in P14.
So point standings coming in for you in the 88. Chris White, who we heard from there a moment ago, he has a total of 714. He's on top with a Valentino Rossi buffer, 46 points over Zach Blinko. Josh Bethune is 3rd in the order, and he's only about just over 30 points behind Blinko. Reigning champion Hugo Allen is 4th in the title defence, and our pole sitter Arthur Braun 5th on the ladder coming into this one. And they're all keeping an eye on Topol coming up for the conclusion of their championship. We'll get a bit more in the way of clarity on the prize pool as well, but there's been some great packages that have been offered to the champions in this class. And I say that respectively because the rookies, for example, have been able to go to Bathurst in years gone by and compete in GR Cup at the mountain there, which has been a very cool thing. And the winner and sometimes others have had the opportunity to go and run in a Supra GT4 car abroad somewhere, which is really awesome.
I like that, the Valentino Rossi gap.
But
I know exactly.
I'm not a comedian like you, mate. That's the best I can do.
No, but exactly right, Rusty. Some incredible opportunities for these young chargers up and coming through their motorsport careers and journeys. And, it really does come to a head here in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship.
Joe on the 6th drone cam. What a shot. Beautiful colour scheme. Some great backers in this class. Some young racers with a very bright future. Not just in New Zealand motorsport, but abroad too. And Arthur Braun gets a nice jump. 2nd phase of the launch. Looks like it works for Hugo Allen. They will fight appropriately down into Toyota corner for the first time into turn 1. Braun's got the ideal line. Allen keeps the foot buried. They'll go side by side towards Splash, the pair of them. Allen might get the nose in front, looks like it. They're leaning on each other.
Oh.
How good.
These two were fighting it out at Highlands on those opening few corners, racing for sheep stations, and they've gone and done it again. Hugo Allen round the outside, through turn 1, through turn 2 to hold the inside for Splash, and he takes the lead.
Quality racing. That has been the undertone of this year's championship. There's probably over time been criticisms of over-enthusiasm or you know, young racers maybe stepping over the mark a little bit. That was brilliantly executed by both of them.
That was a brilliant piece of driving from not only Hugo Allen but Arthur Braun. The trust that went in between them to pull off that and go side by side for that many corners, and that consistently was incredible. And we know why Hugo Allen has the #1 plastered on the Mad Butcher car. He's the reigning champion, and he just proved why. So we see now Arthur Braun all over the back of Allen. The attitude of Hugo Allen's car doesn't probably look as pretty as what he'd like it to be. Chris White, our championship leader, he's now moved up into 3rd, so sometimes hard to tell those pack and save cars apart, but we see now Chris White on the outside down towards turn 1. He's now going to try and go around the outside of them both, and he's managed to clear Arthur Braun. Can he clear Hugo Allen as well? Not quite, but he's going to do the exact same move that Hugo Allen just pulled on Arthur Braun a lap ago to do the same thing.
How's the bravery? Look at the pair of them. Awesome shot, and White will be better placed, I think, when they get to the next one. Entering the fray is Josh Bethune. Out goes Arthur Braun. Not the ideal spot. That hurts the momentum a little bit.
Oh, and Arthur Braun is getting muscled right now. Josh Bethune's just thrown a hammer down the inside, taking the 3rd spot. So Arthur Braun's gone from the pole position to 4th in the span of 2 laps. That's given Hugo Allen, the reigning champion, exactly the kind of reprieve he wanted. It's managed to let him skip away from Chris White and Josh Bethune by about 5 car lengths. Exactly what he needed at this time of the race.
There are some absolutely A-grade driver coaches working on the radios in this field as well, and they'll be just offering the right succinct bits of advice in these moments, whether to push, whether to just be a little on the smarter side. Look at Justin Allen here. He's been battling at it with Lee Zeltwanger, who had a great start, and the Napa Auto Parts 86 has been able to get back by. That's a spot for Justin Allen, 5th.
Yeah, Justin Allen, he's managed to move up into that 5th place there, and he's now all over the back of the pole sitter, Arthur Braun. What's he got for Arthur Braun coming down turn 1? Braun very defensive. He doesn't want to get caught out again like he has the last couple of laps. Now they come out of the exit of turn 1 there. Lee Zeltwanger there, our reigning Trophy Series champion, and behind Justin Allen, AJ Giddy, our pole sitter for the feature race tomorrow. He's now coming under flak from his teammate Zach Blinko on the #90.
Just need to keep a little watch on the 186 of Cooper Barnes as well. He's down in an uncharacteristic 11th at the moment, coming off the back of a podium finish at Sydney Motorsport Park in support of supercars there in GR Cup. Straight back over the ditch and into competition here. So let's watch Barnes. He's chasing Harry Townsend at the moment. Here is Justin Allen having a look. Little flash of flame from Arthur Braun's car on the downshift as they fight for 4th place. Braun still got it.
The hometown hero, Justin Allen, in the #99 car, the Napa Auto Parts car, going down the back straight. He's still trying to get that move done on Braun. Braun again runs defensive. He's got Lee Zeltwanger, who's trying to get a move done as well. Zeltwanger's obviously going to be wanting to try and move forward. His teammate's currently leading the race. They come through the last corner there, a little bit of rubbing on the back of Justin Allen's car. Down the front straight, Hugo Allen leads it from Chris White, Josh Bethune, Arthur Braun, Justin Allen rounding out the top 5.
Allen's got 0.7 of a second over Chris White and the fastest lap of the race so far. In fact, he's banked 2 quickest laps. Last time by it was a 1:18. When they crossed the line just now, it's a 1:17.933.
And this is heating up into a cracker as we see now downward splash. Justin Allen, he's playing a bit of Morse code on the back of Arthur Braun's bumper. Coming down through turn 4 down towards the hairpin. Now he runs defensive again, does Arthur Braun. He stops Justin Allen from being able to get on the throttle when he wants to. Keeps them all line astern and in check. He's got Lee Zeltwanger behind him and behind Justin Allen. AJ Giddy there and behind him in 7th. Zach Blinko in 8th. Mac Templeton in 9th. And Harry Townsend in the Bayswater car there and rounding out the top 10.
Nothing in it between Chris White and Josh Bethune in that fight for 2nd place. As they cross the line, Ronan, 0.04 of a second difference in lap time. The pair of them, they remain. You can see there from the 6th drone cam in exactly the same place. Things have begun to settle for Arthur Braun. Good stuff there in 4th, but he'll be kicking himself having started this one from the ideal spot, pole position. Then it's Justin Allen. AJ Giddy, who did the job in that qualifying session, will start the feature race tomorrow from pole. He's in 7th.
Certainly is. Mac Templeton looks like he's got an issue. He lost a couple of spots up the back straight. Now he's got Cam Hill, Nathan Grammer and Lucas McGill all over the back of him, so something's clearly not right with the New World St. Martin's car run by Neil Motorsport in conjunction with Wood Motorsport, the teammate of Chris White, our championship leader. So something obviously happened there to Mac, and he's starting to regather himself up, but looked like he might have run off the road on that previous lap.
He started working with the Toyota dealership in Cross Island Toyota, I think, hasn't he, in the last little while? So
yep, he's now working at Island Toyota down there in Christchurch. So the team at Island run by Paul Taylor. He's loving it there, having a great time, and fitting that he races a Toyota on the weekend.
I love that, but he'll be frustrated too. Mac was so determined coming into this weekend to just have a faultless run, to really stitch together the ideal weekend. He's missed the chance to do that for different reasons across the last couple. He's outside the top 10 at present. Let's see if they can fix whatever's perhaps going on with that car. Meantime, we go back to that fight for second place. What is it now? 0.3 plus between Chris White and Josh Bethune, who really closes up under brakes there. That's where Josh has been good.
Yeah, as we see there coming down the front straight, Josh Bethune, he's obviously refound that form, that explosive form that we've seen through from him last season and parts of this season in the 32 car, the right carts by M2 competition. GR86 coming through turn 1. He's all over the back of the championship leader. He's got Arthur Braun in his mirrors, so it's a bit of a pack and save sandwich at the moment for the right carts car.
Ronan, you're leading in the Delhi section. Ronan Murphy, back we go. So Alan is, I think he's come into this real fired up to this race. He's got more than a second over Chris White at the moment. Now, this is what we were talking about with Chris before, just in these moments where he perhaps mightn't have that little extra relative to an Alan. He's wise enough to ensure that he banks another solid haul of points. So, series leader is well placed at the moment. Templeton still with his hands full here. Cameron Hill might get down the inside of him for 11th.
Yeah, Mac Templeton having a big fight, arguing it out with Cameron Hill, who's managed to get past him. So there is something wrong with that car of Templeton's. He's just lost a heap of speed again off that back straight, lost the position now to Nathan Grammer, so something going on there. Mac's doing a good job to hang on to it and keep it going, but something's not right there with that New World St. Martin's car. He's lost about 6 positions in the last lap, so something not quite right. Cameron Hill, you want to talk about track limits, that was track limits, but coming down the front straight now, great battle between Cameron Hill, Nathan Grammer, Mac Templeton, and our Tony Quinn Foundation Scholarship winner Lucas McGill, who's going to go around the outside of Templeton. Great pass from McGill. Can he hold it now going towards turn 3?
Now, in between time, the head of Toyota GAZOO Racing New Zealand's motorsport operation, Nico Kayol's been quick on the calculator and has sent me a message as we watch these two here. Hugo Allen, with this race lead, will move to, I think, within 13 points of Josh Bethune in the top 3 in the series standings. So, but it does, at the moment, with Zach Blinko down in 8th spot. This is all good for Chris White. Provisionally, White would walk out of this race with 781 points to Blinko's 707. That is good as we get down to, you know, so few races left between here and Tokyo, the final round.
Absolutely, that is crucial in the championship fight. Chris White doing exactly what he needs to do. He doesn't need to be beating Hugo Allen at this stage. He just needs to be beating Zach Blinko and the cars closest to him in the points. And so Chris White, he's exactly where he'd want to be after where he started the race. And Hugo Allen at the moment, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's making a statement over a second out in front and just going to try and bag another race win. Josh Bethune's now under huge pressure from Arthur Braun. Braun's going to give him a bit of a tag up the inside there. Bit of argy-bargy from Arthur Braun. Great bit of racecraft. Didn't quite get the move done, and he's now going to come under huge pressure from Justin Allen in that Auto Parts car, who's again going to give him just a little touch-up on the rear bumper. Lee Zaltwanger there also trying to get his elbows out and get into this scrap on Justin Allen. They're going to go almost 3 wide through the hairpin there here at Manfeild, and onto the straight now, down towards Higgins. Lee Zaltwanger's actually got the run. He's going to get the pass done on Justin Allen, so Allen crucially, unfortunately, left the door open on the exit there.
This has been brilliant. All the little boxer 4-cylinder engines, Colt cars, these Toyota 86s. And what did you say then? argy-bargy. That's a little tapping into a little bit of the late great Darryl Eastlake there, I reckon. So Allen now 1.3 seconds over Chris White. Bethune holds down that third spot. There's Arthur Braun, who's got his hands full now. Lee Zeltwanger and Justin Allen. Looks like Bethune's got a bit of breathing space.
Yeah, now to all of these cars, Lee Zeltwanger and AJ Giddy seem to be the cars with the speed, because Zeltwanger's just passed Justin Allen. Now he's looking all over the back of Arthur Braun. Giddy's doing the same. He's going to follow Zeltwanger to the outside of the road to try and drive around the outside of Justin Allen. Allen's now going to go back up the inside of Zeltwanger, so can Lee Zeltwanger manage to stay on the outside coming through turn 2 and consolidate that position? Now,
I don't know whether he's done it pre-race and folded the mirrors in, but both of them are folded in for the Napa Auto Parts entry, or whether that's been because of contact. Here comes AJ Giddy, right on the back of Zeltwanger. He'll be ideally placed there, and that's a drama for Justin Allen. The car got all 4 off the deck there when it's climbed. I think the wheel, maybe, was it a Giddy's car, or was it Zeltwanger's? Gee, that looked awkward, didn't it? Almost like a nosedive or an endo from that car.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the wheels there actually interlocked and sent Justin Allen up in the air. He went on a bit of a roller coaster ride, came back down, managed to gather it up. Credit to him not to end up off the road.
That's hurt Giddy's car, has it?
Something's happened. Oh, so it might have been Giddy's car that actually got hit. And unfortunately, that's going to be detrimental to his race. Justin Allen's car's is crabbing. That car's got an issue, massive issue on the rear there. So I think that's actually hurt both of those cars pretty significantly. Rusty's
into the fray. This is good for Zach Blinko. We're going to get to the final lap. If these two might touch, that's awkward. But this is good. Look at it crabbing. Ronan's absolutely right. The Napa Auto Parts entry.
Oh, that's not going good, and Giddy's going to get fired there by Justin Allen. Allen with a car that's severely hurt right now, and he's almost got turned by Harry Townsend. Good forward racing there from Harry Townsend not to turn Justin Allen around.
This is good for Zach Blinko's points haul. Remember, he was further down the order. He'll recover a little bit in the way of points to try and minimise damage relative to Chris White. We'll update those numbers for you. You can find them on the TGRNZ socials. Look at the margin that Hugo Allen, the reigning champ, has built. 2.4 seconds. He is going to absolutely smash them here. Chris White, good for the championship. Wise driving, and Josh Bethune an excellent third. Wow, what a race.
Oodles of speed in the #1 car, the Mad Butcher car. He's been untouched and unfazed from the start of this one. Hugo Allen now coming around the last corner.
What a drive from the Mad Butcher entry. Nigh on perfect. Second phase of the start was brilliant. Grabbed the lead and has built it from there. He wins race 1 at Manfeild. They're pumped about it too. Hugo Allen, your race winner from Chris White, the championship leader. Josh Bethune rounds out your top 3.
We saw Ian McNabb there from IMAC Race Engineering, himself and Toddy Bickerton, the Brains Trust down there on that car of Hugo Allen's and the 22 car of Lee Zeltwanger. Great drive from their man Hugo Allen there to take out the race win in the Mad Butcher entry, and he was virtually uncontested after about lap 3. He just drove away with that one, and Chris White there came home in second and certainly did what he needed to do for the championship.
Some fire in the belly for Hugo Allen. That's in fact Arthur Braun there, bottom left of your screen, who's finished in 4th place. But it's Allen who wins it from White and Josh Bethune. Lee Zeltwanger, really good drive from him to be in 5th place. Now, Justin Allen, with that car crabbing, has somehow brought the car home in 7th place. Harry Townsend is 9th in the end from Cooper Barnes, and Nathan Grammer, who joins the field this weekend after a bit of a standout performance in the Cup Series, the second tier of this sport. Nice work to finish just outside the top 10. Some highlights for you from the opening race of the weekend from Bridgestone GR86. Arthur Braun led them away from pole in the 222, but it was a fired-up Hugo Allen who ran side by side with him down into Toyota corner, and the pair of them were just not willing to give up their bid for the top spot. What ultimately unfolded through the next sequence of corners is that Allen grabbed it, and in the end will build a lead of 2.7 seconds.
Yeah, that was brilliant from Hugo Allen. Chris White there then copied his suit and managed to get past Arthur Braun. So Chris White, the championship leader, he adapts very quickly, watched what the reigning champion did, and then did the exact same thing to Arthur Braun. Braun did a great job to hold on there. Unfortunately got past, or unfortunately for his sake, got past by Josh Bethune, who put a great move on him. Lee Zelltwanger there, down the inside of Justin Allen, down towards Higgins' corner there. This was pre all that action that then unfolded and ended up with the Napa Auto Parts car. Oh, yeah, so that was not ideal for Justin Allen, and that ended up giving the old, no, it was Lee Zelltwanger's car that he managed to climb, and unfortunately gave the Napa Auto Parts car a lot of tow out in the rear. And then we saw there a bit of a melee between Zach Blinko, Justin Allen and AJ Giddy.
Lee Zelltwanger lucky to get away with that. Allen, superb, sublime, wins it, the reigning champion by 2.7 seconds. Cars coming into Allied Petroleum Victory Lane can update you. Chris White, 781 points, leading by 68 now over Zach Blinko. Let's hear from the top three and take it to Andrew.
And Ronan Murphy, a cup of tea and a lie down after that one. They was certainly a fair bit going on in that race, but there was no stopping Hugo Allen. Good job out front, pretty clean sailing for you there.
Yeah, car's super strong. Firstly, I just want to say a massive shout out to Michael Morden, Mad Butcher, who couldn't be here this weekend. Hopefully he can come out tomorrow. But yeah, look, the car's super strong. It's actually my first time racing here as well, so it's nice to win my first race here. Really fun track, car's mega, so just can't thank iMac Race Engineering enough for giving me a really strong car.
What is it, second half of the year in the championship, a bit like last year, you sort of seem to find another gear and start pulling all these wins out. What is it that lends you to do that?
I don't really know, to be honest, Wadey. Yeah, I guess the boys just kicked me into gear a little bit, and yeah, as you know, we haven't had the most ideal start to the year, but yeah, look, I'm confident we can keep bringing these strong performances, and as I say, the car's just performing better than it ever has, so it's really cool, and I'm feeling really good here. Great job, well done. And in second place, Chris White, championship leader. Looked pretty clean for you out there. Was it a race where you're just looking after the championship, bringing home the results, or were you going for the win?
To be fair, I think I was going for the win there at the start. Like, we struggled quite a bit in the practicing Thursday and Friday, so it's real good to get that P3 in quality this morning, and then we managed to get a pretty decent start, just staying there, but then door opened up on lap 2 on the outside, so I took it. Didn't quite get Hugo, but was able to hang around the outside of Arthur and chip into second there, but fortunately I think we got a little bit of steering damage there, so it made it quite difficult at the end of the race there, but it was quite clean.
Do you think that's a difference with, towards the end of the race here, Hugo did build that gap with the steering straight? You reckon you got something from tomorrow?
Yeah, I'd say we would have something for him. Like, I mean, him and his team did really well in that race, so definitely had a fast car and he deserved the win in that one. So just hopefully tomorrow we can move one step further up the grid.
Great job, well done. And in third place, Josh Bethune. Josh, pretty full on for you at the beginning of that race, but good to come home in third place for you.
Yeah, it was certainly busy out there, and it's yeah, good to start getting some podiums at the end of the year and start coming back strong.
Yeah, very well done with that. And you reckon you got a bit more in the tank to take it to the guys out front tomorrow? You were close to Chris at the end there.
Yeah, I think we're pretty conservative in that one. There's no need to throw our championship over one place at this point, but yeah, we'll start going for it now.
Good job, well done.
And it's time to celebrate the podium for race 1, round 5 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship here at Manfeild Circuit. Chris Amon. We welcome Tanya Kremick, Field Operations from Bridgestone, to present our trophies. And we start with third place for Right Karts by M2, Josh Bethune. In second place for Neil Motorsport, please congratulate Chris White. And in first place, what a cracking race this was. Your winner for iMac, it's Hugo Allen. Congratulations to our winner in race 1, round 5 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. More racing to come your way tomorrow from this amazing series.
Lots of stories to come out of that one, and we're looking forward to seeing what tomorrow's 2 races will bring and what the makeups of the podiums will be like. We're going to grab a break here. When we return, more V8 action. Napa Central Muscle Cars just around the corner.
Repco, we get what gets you going. Because while you told her it would be loud, you forgot to mention how it feels. Repco gets you going.
Wait, is this an ad for Toyota? Look, Toyotas, all of them. You got a farmer and a Hilux.